Do you remember when freedom was all that validated your life? When being young, all you cared about was the afternoon nap. When Bursa didn't knock at your doors. When Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and any other social network you used was nothing compared to that one afternoon nap. Do you remember waking up in the middle of the night and crying because you had a bad nightmare or something? Do you remember being breastfed by somebody who assured you that no harm, both mentally or physically, will come upon you? Well, I do. And today I pay respect to a woman that has carried me for 9 months and has loved me for 20. Today I pay tribute to my mother, Joy Uche. Just to give you guys a little background for my mother. My mother graduated from a fancy institution of higher learning in Nigeria in 1986. Her dream was to become the world's greatest registered nurse, but her parents had better expectations for her. See, in Nigeria, when you're a nurse, it doesn't really amount to nothing. They wanted her to be a preceptor. A preceptor is a teacher. Following her parents' request, my mother enlisted herself in a 2-year teaching program. That's when she figured out that her second calling was to be a math instructor. A few months after that, she met my father. You know, my beautiful, handsome father, who I inherited his genes from. My father was a businessman at the time. You know, he worked with some oil company that his father first started. After that, you know, by the grace of God, they had 3 beautiful children. I was one of them. While they was enjoying their blissful marriage, something terrible happened, and my father died prematurely. We was all hurt. So what did we do? Well, we relocated to America, okay, where we wanted to start all over again. All we had with us was our Bible, our hope, and our dreams. We came to America on October 6, 1999. It was cold, and coming from where we're from, we wasn't used to that kind of climate, but we adjusted. In America, my mom got her first job as a cashier at Dairy Queen. Her fellow Nigerians laughed and mocked her. So my mother went to a CNA school. For those of you guys that's not familiar with medical terminology, CNA is a certified nursing assistant. My mom worked as a CNA for 5 years. After that, she said, I could do better. So she went back to school and she became an LPN, which is a licensed practical nurse. My mother went from making $13,000 a year to making $45,000 a year. That's a lot, right? My mom still decided, no, this is not enough. So my mom wanted to fulfill her dream of being the world's greatest nurse. So she went back to school and became a registered nurse. Now, my mother is making $65,000 a year. But that's a lot. My mother fulfilled her dreams. And so she had new priorities and new goals, which was for us, her children, to all go into the medical field. She wanted my older sister go to become a pharmacist, my little sister to become a medical doctor, and for me to become a surgeon. To break her heart, I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to have anything to do with the medical field. See, my calling was in the law, okay? I wanted to be a lawyer. And so to make my mom happy, I had to also become a CNA. Yes. Just to make her happy, just to feel somewhat in the medical field. Okay? So after I became a CNA, I worked my way up. And now she told me, okay, when you get your law degree, I want you to get your PhD so you can be a real doctor. You know? Agreed. My mom sacrificed a lot for us. And because of that, I'm paying tribute to her. I was raised by a woman, so I understand what it meant to be a real man. However, there was a lot of stuff that came with it. There was a lot of consequences, pros and cons. See, I became a gentleman because of my family, but at the same time, I grew hatred for sports. I became a woman advocate, but I grew a certain dissertation for football apparel and accessories. I just didn't like it. No one taught me. So, I just did me. I took care of my family, and before you know it, I was an overprotective son, and I was an overprotective brother. And if you guys, if there's brothers in here, if you guys all have little sisters, you guys know that means a lot. I took care of my family, just like a man should. In conclusion, my mother was a strong woman. She was an intelligent woman. She was a bold and noble woman. Every move that she made came with, she was already thought about it 2 steps before she actually made it. She used to tell me, Prince, nobody will laugh at you unless you give them a reason to laugh at you. I took that to the heart. And now, I'm up here paying tribute to her. My mother was bold like Rosa Parks, caring like Coretta Scott King, and open-minded like Sojourner Truth. She showed me what it meant to know a real independent woman. And for that, I say thank you all for listening. Thank you.